Greetings and salutations, folks and fans. Your blind dyslexic here. With the celebration of the big 50th coming this November for Doctor Who, as well as Peter Capaldi taking over the reins of the Doctor, or I should say, taking the keys and the deed to the TARDIS, I'm going to try to do or fix my 96 Doctor Who movie redux. I did one a while ago and I just realized I did a few mistakes. So I am going to relay to you how the 96 movie could have been fixed. Okay, first up, the beginning narration through how each came to be, I keep. Saw nothing wrong. Plus I didn't see anything wrong with the actors who took up the parts. Now here we're going to do some changing. We'd replace the iHarmony plot line with that of a peace accord. And I'd save that whole iHarmony deal for one of the latter movies. Because I believe there was 3 planned. Yeah, I think there was 3 planned. But nonetheless, we've got Mike Yates, head of the public relations of this branch of the unit, and the Brigadier's adopted granddaughter, at the same rank Mike was when he was an officer, the captain, and they're waiting for the peace attaché. Due to there's a peace accord between 2 regions that have been at war for quite some time. Alright. And the backstory on that is one region accused another region of purposely losing a soccer match so they could get close enough and murder the daughter to one of the royal sides. Starting off with the Master. I want to first say I inadvertently did a little bit more nips and tucks to the Master than I initially thought, so please bear with me. But nonetheless, the Master in this case would be suffering from multiple personalities, causing his tissue compression eliminator to resemble a Dalek gun. He would lose it to one of Lee's friends, but in the end, they'd use it on 3 individuals, which will be coming up here shortly. But when he does catch up with Lee, he would con Lee into thinking that he was an agent with the FBI or CIA, and his tissue compression eliminator was a federal taser gun. On top of that, he would con Lee into assuming that the Doctor is a terrorist who was supposed to have been on his way to a federal supermax located in, drumroll please, New Mexico. And in relaying 3 of the individuals that are supposed to have been there, Harvey Oswald, of course reference to when the series began, and a criminal from 1989, when it ended. The last criminal, he's unclear whether they were a recent transfer to or from the lunar penal colony. I realize only Doctor Who fans would get the reference to Roger Delgado's Final Adventure, but it's a unique twist. But like I said, the tissue compression eliminator would have been swiped. It would be used on 7 people, credited for 6, due to the fact that Lee's partner used it on a homeless person after gaining it from him. Then Lee and his partner would use it on 3 members of the public. Lee would be convinced to use it on his partner, and then the last 2, I'm uncertain of the order, but one would be a security officer from that Science Foundation where they got the special chip for the TARDIS, and who everybody assumed was the piece attaché. Sticking with Lee for a few more minutes, like I said, Lee and his partner would use it on would use it on 3 people before Lee's partner's unfortunate end. But his partner in crime would tell Lee that he was unclear. He kept griping about how he had a run-in with a cop, and that's why he wasn't with Lee in the beginning half of our adventure. And now finally for our hero, the Doctor. Like I said, each would come to be in their remaining in the same manner. The Doctor would still suffer from amnesia, but here's where we start doing the nips and tucks. While at Grace's, the Doctor would see a deck of playing cards, sparks his memory about Ace, but he's unclear whether he left her with Professor Carnotus or Sally Avon. He can't understand why one name gives him the impression of a college, university course of sorts, and the second, a cold chill and a feeling a fan would have for their favorite celebrity. The final the final battle would still take place in the TARDIS, but the lead up to that is the Master would eventually attack the Peace Accord. Mike or the Brigadier's adopted granddaughter would shoot and wound who they assume is the Master, but ends up being the Peace attaché. He has a few choice words, and it's made you to think that maybe the U.S. could have been behind the old disruption between those 2 regions. But like I said, gaining the chip would remain the same. Final battle in the TARDIS is kept. Doors are knocked open moments after they've rematerialized. Military vessels that are obviously decades old fire upon the TARDIS, mistaking it for a UFO due to the chameleon circuits working. HADS kicks in. Hostile Action Displacement System kicks in. And the Doctor is forced to sacrifice the Master for Lee in order to save Lee. The Master, while pulling Lee's gun, gives the same death phrase of life is wasted on the living. And everything from showing them the universe on is kept the same, with a few added bonuses. Lee's partner, once they have returned, there's the big celebration of coming of the millennium, signing of the peace accord, and Lee's partner slamming into the TARDIS moments after its return to its famed appearance, mistakes the Doctor for a cop, checks out without his prize, which is a purse belonging to either Tegan Jovanka or Sarah Jane Smith. We have the old ending credits. Then at the end, here's the Easter egg, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the credits, we return to moments after the Master's sentencing. A ship in orbit around one of the moons, the dark side of one of Scarro's moons. Two Ogrons sandwiching a transmat terminal. A soul figure appears, and when they lift their head, they have the same eyes as from the beginning. Thank you for watching TBD on the 96 Doctor Who redo. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe and leave your 2 cents down below. And hop on over to the web's page, which I will be leaving down below as well, and maybe right there. And catch up on several things. And if you like to be a member of, be added to the roster of the Sexy Kitty, please leave a note in the guest book. I'll be all too happy to add you. But please make a donation to the Heroes at Home and Cancer Sucks, two great charities that do a world of good for our military personnel and those suffering from cancer, who I wish are getting well. And to all you folks in the military, thank you. Keep up the great job and stay safe. You're always in our hearts. And from me to you, your blind dyslexic. Ciao for now.